So guys, we've only got until Tuesday 6:45 to get everything ready for FPL Gameweek 16. So let's get into FPL Today coming up next. What's up guys, and welcome to JNO United, bringing you the very best in football gaming. And today we're doing FPL Today here on Monday because we've got a midweek game week coming up. Game week 16 is happening on Tuesday and Wednesday, so we have to get our teams ready by 6:45 Tuesday night, ready for the 7:45 kickoffs. But before we get into the review and the preview all wrapped into one because we don't have much time, make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can hit over 30 likes for this episode. And also just a quick way of you guys supporting me that isn't giving me your own money like Patreon or anything resembling giving me money like affiliate links. Now I understand some people are not in a position where they can support me in entertaining them, if you even call what I do entertaining or giving knowledge or whatever you want to call it, but there is a way you guys can support me without giving me any money, and it's just giving me a little bit more of your time. Basically at the beginning of the videos you're going to see adverts. Now I know the urge is to press skip ad and get to the content that you want to watch as quickly as possible, but if you watch that whole advert I get more money than if you press skip the ad after 5 seconds. So if it's a 30-second advert, if you can just leave it running, talk to someone, daydream or anything, that helps me out a lot. Also it helps me out if you watch the entirety of the video, or if the advert is a questionnaire, if you answer the questionnaire. Those are ways you can help me out just by giving me some of your time. Now I understand some of you may not like the Football Manager content. If you just click it and then open up a new tab and let my video run, that is supporting me as well, because it's showing YouTube that my watch time is good, and then that helps me get on recommended sidebars of other people's videos, which will help my channel grow. So these are the kind of ways you guys can support me without giving me money every month or by buying stuff that I am affiliated with. But anyway, enough about all of that. Let's get into looking forward to Game Week 16 and back at Game Week 15. So my question of the week is, what were your transfers for Game Week 15? Were you trying to pick up any differentials? Did they work out for you? Make sure to answer that question in the comments down below. I actually brought in Harry Kane, which didn't work out that well for me. But then I noticed Charlie Austin picked up a shoulder injury, so I did take a points hit and bring in Origi from Liverpool. Now Origi did score and get bonus points, so that transfer actually worked out for me, and he's not owned by many people, which means that really helped my ranking. Another player really helped my ranking, but we'll get into that in a second. My points for the game week were 64. Now this is based off of Fantasy Football Fix, which is a website I'm a member of. They give you live game week scores and rankings, so you know how you're doing no matter what point in the game week it is. From Fantasy Football Fix, the average for the game week was 46. Now these could be slightly wrong, but usually Fantasy Football Fix are spot on with their averages. So once again, I'm above the average by a decent amount, which helped with my ranking. Also interestingly, Fantasy Football Fix gives you the top 1,000 players average, which was 50 points. So I was 14 points above the average for the top 1,000 players in the game. That should leave me on total points of 853, but again, that isn't confirmed on the FPL website. But I have to do this video Sunday night because I'm working most of Monday, and then Tuesday I've got my daughter. I can't 100% guarantee I'll have time to record the video before Game Week 16 kicks off. So according to Fantasy Football Fix, my new ranking in FPL is 21,100th. So I'm doing really well now. We're getting close to that top 10k, which is what I aimed for after I got the top 1% last year. So it'd be really nice to be in that top 10k at some point in this FPL season. It was green arrows across the board in the Classic and head-to-head leagues on Saturday or Sunday morning, but we'll wait and see what it is actually like. I'm not confirming what my rankings are in any Classic or head-to-head league because I don't know, but it was green arrows Sunday morning. From what I can tell from my rankings and how well I've done, it should still be green arrows come Monday. So again, we've had a very good game week as far as the Classic and head-to-head leagues go as well. We've got no dream team to officially look at, But the players that I am going to bring up to you are high scoring players from Saturday. And the first one is someone who I've jokingly recommended in some podcasts I've done with FF Surgery. A link will be in the description down below to their website. And that man is Wilfried Zaha, who came in with 16 points this game week, 2 assists and 1 goal. Now in this current Crystal Palace side, there's a lot of players that can win headers and get goals from crosses and corners, and Zaha can put in a decent ball and has been benefiting from the likes of Benteke being in that Crystal Palace squad. Now the defence isn't doing too well as far as clean sheets are concerned, so they're probably not defenders you're going to pick there, but Zaha is getting the assists and only comes in at 5.5 million, which is a great price for someone who can get 16 points in a game week. Gylfi Sigurdsson came in with 13 points, but now has some competition amongst us FPL players for that Swansea affection as an FPL asset, as Llorente came in and got 13 points as well. Now if...
Sorry, I thought you were still good.
I was, but I heard you, so I stopped. Night. Now if Gylfi Sigurdsson and Llorente can form a partnership and an understanding, both of those players could become very viable FPL assets for us players. And finally, Pep Guardiola found out how good Leicester were last year, because Leicester blitzed them very early on, getting 2 goals I think in like 5 minutes. Vardy getting a hat-trick and piling in the points, 17 points in total I believe. The plus side is I don't think anyone still has Jamie Vardy, so it didn't affect my ranking. Now do I think Leicester are going to continue on in this vein of form? It's possible, but I also believe Man City just were not ready for what Leicester brought in that game. Is that Pep's fault? It might be. There were some decisions he made, from what I've heard, that were a bit suspect to say the least. So my star of the week, and I'm going to give it to Zaha, even though he got 1 point less than Vardy, because Zaha is a much less known entity in FPL after Jamie Vardy's season last year. 16 points, 1 goal and 2 assists in FPL, only 1 assist in real life because most people don't call getting fouled in the box an assist. He had 3 attempts in the game week, 2 on target, scored 1 of them and created 3 chances for his teammates. So Zaha, despite the fact that I only really bought him in because Alan was out with a suspension or an injury at the time, Zaha has come good for my team so far and has been a real differential for me. And for the fall of the week, I'm going with Pep Guardiola for not realising what Leicester can do to you if you don't take them seriously and set up to play that Leicester side. Now I know they haven't been doing that well this season, but Man City may have just built their confidence up and this might be the comeback of Leicester. And apparently Pep Guardiola played Zabaleta at right mid. Not too sure about that option if that is true. So we now move on to the preview part of the show, and we're looking at game week 16. Deadline once again is 6:45 PM before the 7:45 PM kickoffs. The games I'm looking at where points could be possible, you've got the Middlesbrough versus Liverpool game at home at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough are quite good defensively so far this season. Liverpool can score a lot of goals even without Coutinho. So it's going to be one of those games where if you have a Middlesbrough defender, you may do very well if they manage to keep Liverpool out, or Liverpool could run rampant and get points. We don't know because that Liverpool side attackingly is very good even without Coutinho, but that Middlesbrough side are very defensively solid, so it could really affect our game weeks. We have Sunderland versus Chelsea, and after what happened to Sunderland against Swansea and the way Chelsea are playing, I believe Chelsea should pick up some good points in this game. Yes, they struggled against West Brom today, but West Brom really set up well defensively, and Sunderland are nowhere near as good as West Brom defensively, so I don't imagine that happening for game week 16. Diego Costa made a goal out of nothing, so I really expect Chelsea to win this game and pick up some points for us FPL managers. Then we have West Ham versus Burnley, and I watched the West Ham Liverpool game at Anfield, and it's the first time I've watched the West Ham team in a while and thought, okay, we're showing a bit of fight, we're showing a bit of team spirit. We at times looked competitive against this Liverpool side, and we were ahead 2-1 at one point. So I feel like this could be where West Ham start to build as we are getting some of our players back from injury and maybe fight our way out of that relegation battle. Payet and Antonio both looked good, so potentially points are back in that West Ham side, and Burnley are not that good on the road. And then of course we have Spurs versus Hull. Tottenham did lose to Manchester United today 1-0. They're going to want to pick up a victory right off the back of that. And it's coming up against a Hull side that are the whipping boys of the Premier League at the moment. So I expect points for Spurs in this game. So my captain choice for Game Week 16 is going to be Diego Costa, because he's just been that consistent. And this season so far, he's the leading striker for goals and assists. You can get more explosive options, but that Chelsea side look good, and Diego Costa can score out of nothing, so he's the safer option as a captain choice. The likes of Alexis Sanchez, Sergio Aguero are the types of players, and Jamie Vardy, that can get explosive returns in a game week, but are they going to be as consistent as Diego Costa has been this season? And my differential is another player I own, and it is Divock Origi. Coming in at 6.6 million, in the last 3 games he's scored 3 goals and got 5 bonus points from those last 3 games. So until Coutinho is back, Origi can be that third cheap striker in your side. And finally, the red herring is the Swansea side. Off of the last 2 home fixtures they've had, they've scored 8 goals and they've looked very good, but their next 2 opponents are both defensively solid teams. West Brom and Middlesbrough are not going to be as leaky in defence as Palace and Sunderland were. So I think a lot of people are bringing in Sigurdsson and Llorente, and while I could be wrong and I didn't expect Llorente to have such a good game week in Game Week 15, I do believe the next 2 fixtures are not going to be full of points for the Swansea side. It does then get better in the 2 fixtures after that though. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always. On the screen right now you can check out all my social media links and my Patreon, where you can support me from $1 a month up. If you enjoyed the video and you're new around here, make sure to subscribe. Once again, hit that like button. I've been J&O, you've been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.